Remember your Pilates breathing technique. It's very important to implement it here. This exercise that is a bit tricky because in a group class often we see this mistake where people are moving their hip joint. Hello, I am Patricia Duchessois and I am the co-founder of the Swiss Pilates Institute. Today I want to demonstrate you another exercise which is tight stretch. For tight stretch we are going to put one strong and one medium spring, and I want to really see with you a little bit this exercise that is a bit tricky because in a group class often we see this mistake where people are moving their hip joint, and which actually we should not. So the proper way here to really do this exercise first is to use your hip extensor, so the gluteus here is going to work to press the carriage out, and you want to create a slight posterior pelvic tilt in order to actually open up the front of the hip. After all, this exercise is called tight stretch. So you really want to stretch that tight by opening the psoas, the hip flexor. It's only the hip extensor here that is going to move and work into a concentric contraction. So the starting position, you want to make sure your hands, your shoulders, your hips are squared. You inhale to prepare, you align yourself into a neutral alignment, and when you exhale, you press the carriage out with your hip extensor. So pressing out. Now the common mistake what we see in a group class is people, they are moving, you see here, from the hip joint. But what is going to move only here actually is the shoulder joint. So we exhale, press out. And slightly opening the collarbones and very slightly into a upper back extension, very slightly. Exhale, press out. And inhale, close carriage. So you always want to keep the connection here on your glutes when you are performing this exercise. So using proper breath, keeping the connection of the abdominals to protect the lower back in such a position. Now I will show you on the opposite side. So it's really opening tremendously the front of your hip. So making sure that you are really keeping a proper breath. Remember your Pilates breathing technique. It's very important to implement it here. Exhaling to press out, out, out. Deep connection on the glutes. Inhaling, closing the carriage while opening the collarbones, and the mobility again here on the shoulder joint. All right. So we are usually teaching this in a group class, like keeping one foot on the floor. Now, for intermediate advanced, we will bring one foot on the footbar, and we will again emphasize on exactly the same here to create this slight posterior pelvic tilt. Extend, so opening the carriage and inhaling to close the carriage while opening again the collarbone. See here, the tip of my fingers on the footbar. So again, the mobility is only on my shoulders. So opposite side here. See, the goal is not to create, it's not to do a hamstring stretch. What we want is to stretch the front of the hip and also the thigh. Quadriceps and psoas stretch. That was tight stretch. Thank you for watching. See you next time for another exercise. Goodbye.